Up with KREM begins now.
Good morning, 6 o'clock here on your Tuesday morning. Welcome to Up with KREM and streaming on KREM 2+. I'm Tim Pham.
And I'm Nicole Hernandez. And if you haven't looked outside this morning yet, it is raining a little bit, so just be prepared for that. Thomas, we've got you here. How much longer is this rain lasting?
Yeah, it looks like that rain is going to last for another 4 to 6 hours here. So it's going to stay raining all day long. You're not going to find a moment to wait for the rain to lighten up to dash to the car. You're just going to either have to brave it or actually use the umbrella as of this morning. It is, in fact, a widespread rain all throughout the inland northwest. The best way to like to describe it is it's just a blob of green over our area, but since it's not moving, there's not really much happening downwind. It's just going to stay with us for several hours here. And there you go. I mean, just all throughout Spokane County, you're not going to find any kind of spot that's getting any less rain than any other. So that's why this is going to last for several hours this morning. Just a wet start to the day here. But our temperatures, they'll stay constant at about 47 degrees here. So that's what we're dealing with this morning. But not to worry, more sunshine tomorrow, much warmer weather to finish off the week.
Taking a look at I-90 near State Line this morning, you can see exactly what Thomas has been talking about. That rain coming down, the roads are wet. Other than the wet roads, though, nothing else really happening. Sometimes when we get these wet roads after a stint of dry, it can cause them to be a bit slippery. So just be careful of that as you head out the door this morning. Other than that, though, no major backups or crashes. We'll keep you updated through the morning.
Breaking overnight this morning, US 395 north of Chewelah is back open after a deadly crash last night. Washington State Patrol says one person died and another was hurt in a crash with a moose in the center of the road. WSP responded to the crash around 9 last night. They say the driver was heading north on 395 when he hit the moose. A second driver also hit the moose but left the scene. The man who died has not been identified. The woman was life-flighted to Sacred Heart Medical Center. New this morning, the Mead School District hosted another community discussion on its proposed transgender policy.
So we've been talking about this for a few months now. The proposed amendment would have students use their name instead of pronouns. It would also look at locker room access on a case-by-case basis. And it would mean any students on overnight trips would have to sleep in rooms based on their sex at birth. The school board says this would affect many students in the district.
It's an issue. It's not insignificant. I think opponents would be quick to say, oh, there's only a handful. That's not true at all.
There's an increase in bullying and violence against transgender and gender nonconforming kids when they're forced into personal spaces that do not align with their gender identity. There are real-life consequences for stigmatizing and othering these kids.
The board says they need to have more conversations with the community and the state superintendent's office about this. So they did not vote on the amendments. At this point, we don't know when they're planning on voting.
New in the last 12 hours, Spokane City Council members voted to approve an ordinance to add protections for the LGBTQ+ community. The protection will be added to a current ordinance, adding a new section that city-provided health care shall extend coverage for the rights of individuals to seek health care services and gender-affirming treatment. Gender-affirming treatment is legal in Washington state. In February, a federal judge also blocked President Donald Trump's executive order that would have made it illegal for transgender people under the age of 19 to get gender-affirming care.
Spokane City Council also approved an emergency ordinance about stores that sell alcohol. It says those stores now cannot be within 500 feet of schools, parks, and libraries. Council President Betsy Wilkerson says this will help with community safety, and other council members say the ordinance will help with public health. The council voted unanimously to adopt this ordinance, but again, it's an interim ordinance, so they're going to have the public hearing for it on June 16th. And we're learning more this morning. The Washington ACLU filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration for getting rid of Head Start services. The federal government has already made some cuts to the programs. The ACLU says that has left young children without support, especially for low-income families. They say more than 800,000 children and their families use Head Start every year here in the United States. And the lawsuit says Trump's budget would completely eliminate the program by the end of September.
All new for you this morning, a Pinehurst man pleaded guilty to several child pornography charges and will spend at least 3 years in prison. 51-year-old Greg McFarland was sentenced yesterday. Police tracked an IP address linked to McFarland downloading explicit material involving children. Court records show McFarland's home was searched in October by a task force with the Idaho Internet Crimes Against Children. They found hundreds of images of victims as young as 1 year old. Our news partners with the Coeur d'Alene Press report he will serve his sentences concurrently. Continuing coverage this morning, the man accused of starting multiple fires in Spokane Valley over the weekend faced a judge yesterday.
So that's 36-year-old Cody Jensen. He's accused of several felonies now, like arson and using explosive devices. Police say he lit fires around his Spokane Valley neighborhood, starting with his own house. Court records say Jensen kicked in his roommate's door, then threw flaming gasoline-filled bottles inside. The roommates told police Jensen had recently lost possession of the home. Police say Jensen then moved through the neighborhood using Molotov cocktails and a propane torch to set fires to neighbors' cars and homes.
It is 6:06 as we take a look at Doppler radar to show this rainfall across the region. Well, it is completely widespread. Looks like every single pixel has the green on it. So it is basically just steady raining all throughout Spokane County, Kootenai County. We can even pan this to the south. Looks like Whitman County. It actually filled in over Pullman within the last hour. So not much to differentiate across the inland northwest with this widespread rain that is passing through. And it likely will take several hours to march on through our area. So all of this morning, basically just exactly what we're experiencing, this light and steady rainfall. The afternoon, a few scattered showers, but we should probably see a few peaks of sunshine once this frontal system does pass through by the noon hour today.
Happening this week, a spring cleanup is happening in downtown Spokane.
KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones is live this morning in downtown. So Brandon, how can we help out if we're interested in helping clean up the city?
Yeah, it's easy to sign up, and actually we had our crews. Amanda Rowley was down here talking with the Downtown Spokane Partnership as well yesterday. We've learned 100 volunteers already have signed up. It looks like more could be doing that throughout the week. You've got until Thursday to sign up and volunteer if you're interested in helping clean up your community. So again, the Downtown Spokane Partnership, they're hosting the Spring Cleanup Week. Today, their focus is parking lots. Yesterday, they were out cleaning up some of the sidewalks. So there's going to be a different daily focus each day of the week. In terms of how you sign up, all you got to do is go to downtownspokane.org. There's going to be a big page right as soon as you get on there that says Spring Cleanup Week. You can sign up and figure out how you can get involved. So the time frames on a daily basis, 11:30 a.m. until about 1 p.m. You can sign up for those with different groups of course. And then we talked a little bit about that daily focus. Tomorrow is going to be alleyways. Thursday is going to be planter and tree beds. And then later this morning, we're actually going to get a chance to speak with some of those officials from the DSP, talking about just kind of why they do this on an annual basis, why it's important to them, and what their overall mission is as well. For now, reporting live here in downtown Spokane, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
And of course, this is all in preparation for Spokane's biggest race, which actually kicks off in 5 days. Hard to believe. The 49th annual Bloomsday race is this Sunday.
So as you probably know, the race starts on West Riverside Avenue between Post Street and Lincoln Street, right in downtown Spokane. You can check in for the race starting Friday at the Spokane Convention Center Exhibition Hall. And if you still want to register, you still can. You can register until 5:30 p.m. on Saturday.
Yeah, keep in mind, different runners and participants will start at different times depending on which group they are placed in or which one you chose when you put in your splits. For a complete breakdown of everything you need to know, from parking to the course map and also how you can take a shuttle to Bloomsday, just head to KREM.com.